Number 1. The $9 billion mystery. $9 billion. That's how much the FIFA World Cup can generate from a single tournament. But once the final whistle blows, the fireworks fade, and the champions lift the trophy, that money doesn't simply vanish. It begins a journey through one of the most powerful financial networks in sports. Some of it lands in the hands of the winning teams, some flows to national football associations across the globe, some is poured back into the game itself, and billions of dollars remain under FIFA's control. The surprising part, most fans have no idea how any of it works, because while the world is focused on football, another game is being played behind the scenes. A game worth billions. Every television deal, every sponsorship agreement, every ticket scanned at the stadium gates, and every official jersey sold adds another piece to an enormous financial puzzle. By the time the tournament ends, the World Cup has become far more than a sporting event. It's one of the largest business operations on the planet. The money doesn't start pouring in when the opening match kicks off. In reality, FIFA has already been collecting billions for years before the first whistle is ever blown. Broadcasters compete fiercely for the right to show the tournament to billions of viewers. Global brands spend enormous sums to have their logos displayed around the stadiums and on television screens. Companies purchase exclusive sponsorship rights years in advance, knowing that even a few seconds of exposure during the World Cup can reach more people than almost any other event on Earth. If you're picturing millions of fans buying tickets as FIFA's biggest source of income, you're thinking far too small. It's sitting in front of billions of screens around the world. And that's where the story of the World Cup's $9 billion really begins. Number 2, where the money comes from. The single biggest source of World Cup revenue isn't inside the stadium. It's sitting in front of televisions, laptops, tablets, and smartphones across the globe. Every 4 years, billions of people tune in to watch football's biggest spectacle. Families gather in living rooms, fans pack sports bars, and giant public screens fill city squares from Buenos Aires to Tokyo. That global audience is exactly what makes the World Cup so valuable. Broadcasters aren't simply paying for football matches. They're paying for the attention of billions of viewers watching at the same time. That's why broadcasting rights generate the largest share of FIFA's World Cup revenue. Television networks and streaming platforms compete fiercely for exclusive rights years before the tournament begins. Those deals allow broadcasters to attract huge audiences and charge premium advertising rates throughout the competition. Every commercial shown before kickoff, during halftime, and after the final whistle helps justify the billions spent securing those broadcasting rights. But television is only one piece of FIFA's financial engine. Long before the opening match, another competition is already underway, not on the pitch, but in boardrooms around the world. Global companies are willing to spend enormous sums to become official World Cup sponsors because few events offer exposure on such a massive scale. Sportswear brands, airlines, financial institutions, soft drink manufacturers, automotive companies, and technology firms all compete for the opportunity to place their logos in front of billions of viewers. From pitch-side advertising boards to interview backdrops and digital campaigns, the World Cup provides global visibility that few marketing campaigns can match. Then there are the fans who experience the tournament in person. Packed stadiums and sold-out matches make ticket sales seem like a major source of income. They certainly contribute hundreds of millions of dollars, but compared to broadcasting rights and sponsorship deals, ticket revenue represents only a small portion of FIFA's earnings. Beyond standard tickets, FIFA also earns substantial revenue from premium hospitality packages. These offer luxury seating, private suites, fine dining, and exclusive experiences, attracting corporate clients and wealthy fans willing to pay thousands of dollars for a single match. The final piece of the puzzle is merchandise and licensing. Every official jersey, match ball, scarf, collectible and licensed products sold around the world generates additional income. Manufacturers pay licensing fees for the right to produce official World Cup merchandise, while millions of supporters eagerly buy souvenirs that connect them to football's biggest stage. When you add it all together, the picture becomes clear. The World Cup isn't a $9 billion event because millions of people buy tickets. It's a $9 billion event because billions of people watch it. Every television broadcast, sponsorship agreement, hospitality package, and licensed product feeds FIFA's financial machine. But earning billions is only half the story. The real question is what happens once that money reaches FIFA's accounts. Number 3. Who gets paid first? Once the money reaches FIFA's accounts, you'd probably expect the biggest winners on the pitch to receive the biggest rewards. After all, they're the ones filling stadiums, creating unforgettable moments, and giving fans memories that last a lifetime. But that's not how the money flows. The first surprise is that only a relatively small portion of the World Cup's total revenue is paid out as prize money. While the prize pool has grown significantly over the years, it's still just a fraction of the billions FIFA earns from the tournament. Take the 2022 World Cup in Qatar as an example. FIFA distributed a total prize fund of $440 million among the 32 participating teams. The eventual champions received the largest share, while every nation that qualified was guaranteed a payout, with larger rewards for progressing through each knockout round. By football standards, those are life-changing sums. But compared to the tournament's overall revenue, they represent only a small slice of the financial pie. Another detail many fans don't realize is that FIFA doesn't pay players directly. Instead, the money is transferred to each country's football association, which then distributes bonuses to players, coaches, and staff, according to agreements made before the tournament begins. Some federations split the prize money evenly among the squad, while others include additional performance bonuses based on how far the team progresses. The money also reaches professional clubs. Since clubs release their players for international duty and continue investing in their development year-round, FIFA operates a club benefits program, compensating clubs for every day their players spend at the tournament. Whether a player exits in the group stage or reaches the final, their club receives a payment, meaning teams from leagues across Europe, South America, Asia, Africa, and beyond all benefit financially from the World Cup. Behind the scenes, thousands of people who never kick a ball also receive a share. Referees, assistant referees, VAR officials, medical personnel, technical experts, and tournament staff are all paid for their roles in delivering one of the most complex sporting events on Earth. By this point, hundreds of millions of dollars have already been distributed. National associations have been paid. Players receive bonuses. Professional clubs receive compensation. Officials and tournament staff earn their share. Yet when you compare those payments to the nearly $9 billion generated by the World Cup, one thing becomes obvious. A massive amount of money is still left. And that's because some of the biggest bills connected to the tournament aren't paid by FIFA at all. They're paid by the countries that host it. Number 4, the bills nobody talks about. When people think about the cost of the World Cup, they usually imagine FIFA writing enormous checks to build stadiums, modernize airports, or construct new highways. But in reality, that's not how the tournament works. One of the biggest misconceptions about the World Cup is that FIFA pays for everything. In fact, many of the largest expenses fall on the host nation, or in the case of the 2026 tournament, the host nations. Winning the right to host the World Cup is often celebrated as a once-in-a-generation achievement. Governments promise economic growth, millions of visitors, global exposure, and a lasting legacy. But before the first fans even arrive, billions of dollars have already been committed to preparing the country for the world's biggest sporting event. New stadiums are built or renovated, airports are expanded, transport systems upgraded, security strengthened, and entire areas around venues transformed to handle millions of visitors. These are massive infrastructure projects that often continue long after the final has been played. Brazil's 2014 World Cup is a good example. The country spent billions upgrading stadiums and infrastructure, but several venues later struggled to generate enough events to justify their enormous costs. Russia also invested heavily ahead of the 2018 tournament, improving airports, transport networks, and sporting facilities to accommodate fans from around the world. Then came Qatar in 2022, where years of investment reshaped stadiums, roads, hotels, and public transportation in preparation for hosting football's biggest event. FIFA's responsibilities are very different. Rather than funding national infrastructure, FIFA focuses on staging the tournament itself. That includes organizing every match, producing the global television broadcast, operating VAR technology, paying referees and tournament staff, managing media operations, coordinating logistics, and ensuring every game reaches billions of viewers across the world. Beyond the tournament, FIFA also reinvests a significant portion of its revenue into football development. Through its global funding programs, national associations receive support to improve coaching, develop youth talent, expand women's football, upgrade facilities, and grow the sport in countries that could never afford these projects on their own. Even after funding tournament operations, development programs, and prize money, FIFA still maintains billions of dollars in financial reserves. Those reserves provide stability between World Cups and ensure the organization can continue investing in football regardless of future economic uncertainty. So by now, the money has reached teams, clubs, officials, development programs, and tournament operations. But there's one final piece of the puzzle, because if players aren't receiving the biggest share and host nations are spending billions just to stage the event, then who actually makes the biggest profit from the World Cup? Number 5, the biggest winners. By now, we've followed billions of dollars through broadcasting deals, sponsorships, prize money, tournament operations, and football development. But after tracing every major stream of revenue, one thing becomes clear. The World Cup doesn't create just one winner. It creates an entire economy of winners. Start with the broadcasters. They spend billions to secure exclusive rights because they know the tournament attracts audiences unlike anything else in sport. A single World Cup final can draw well over 1 billion viewers worldwide, giving television networks and streaming platforms the chance to sell advertising at premium prices. For broadcasters, the World Cup isn't simply a football tournament. It's one of the most valuable events on the global media calendar. Then comes the sponsors. For companies like Adidas, Coca-Cola, Visa, Hyundai, and other official partners, the World Cup is far more than a marketing campaign. It's an opportunity to place their brands in front of billions of potential customers over the course of a single month. From television commercials and digital campaigns to stadium advertising and fan experiences, every moment of the tournament reinforces their global presence. Even after the final whistle, the association with the World Cup continues to shape consumer recognition and brand loyalty. The host nation also receives benefits, although not always in the way people expect. Hotels are filled with international visitors. Restaurants, transport, services, retailers, and entertainment businesses often experience a surge in demand as millions of fans travel to support their teams. For many local businesses, the tournament brings weeks of record-breaking activity and introduces their cities to a global audience. But those short-term gains don't always offset the enormous cost of preparing to host the event. That's why economists continue to debate whether hosting the World Cup delivers the long-term financial return many governments hope for. And then there's FIFA itself. Unlike clubs or leagues that rely on annual competitions, FIFA generates the majority of its income during one tournament every 4 years. Yet that single event provides enough revenue to fund football development worldwide, organize international competitions, maintain substantial financial reserves, and operate the organization until the next World Cup arrives. That's what makes the World Cup such a remarkable business model. It isn't just a month-long football tournament. It's the financial engine that powers global football for the next 4 years. So where does the World Cup's $9 billion go? Some of it rewards the teams that make history. Some help develop football in countries thousands of miles away from the host stadiums. Some pays for the technology, officials, logistics, and operations that make the tournament possible. Some support businesses that thrive during the world's biggest sporting event. And much of it ensures that FIFA remains one of the wealthiest and most influential organizations in global sport. The next time you watch a World Cup match, remember that every goal, every celebration, every packed stadium, and every unforgettable moment is also part of a financial system worth billions of dollars. Behind the beautiful game is an equally extraordinary business. And for FIFA, the final whistle isn't the end of the story. It's when the next 4-year cycle begins. If you enjoyed this breakdown, be sure to like the video, subscribe for more deep dives into the business behind sports, and tell us in the comments what surprised you most about where the World Cup's $9 billion actually goes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.